Yo, from Signal Flow Studios, you are listening to the Featured Presentation Podcast, where I interview the featured artist on my newest song. Who am I, you might ask? Well, I'm singer, songwriter, rapper, producer Zup from Cleveland, Ohio. I've been in the Cleveland music scene for what feels like forever, and my most recent album, For Me, won Scene Magazine's Best Local Album of 2023. But enough about me. Today we are here to talk about my new song, Quicksand, produced by the incredible Chris DiCola, and featuring this incredible musician sitting right across from me, Lil Bird. How you doing today?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Great. Thank you so much for being here and doing this. And you know, I was saying earlier that this is going to come out in July, so we are actually recording this in a freezing cold day in January.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you for coming out for that.
Absolutely.
And thanks for being on the song.
Yeah, I love it.
So for the people that might not know you, if you'd want to give them a little info, the 411 on you.
Honestly, just really new to this, I feel like. I was just thinking about this on the way over here, like all the connections that I've made that's like brought me here. I feel like I just got into the Cleveland music scene, really. So
where were you before? Like, what were you? You're just like...
I was just in an attic.
I see what you're saying. So you were like in your little scene and now you're like out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So how long has it been since you've been like in the scene?
Like 1 or 2 years. I met like Chris, like the connection that came for this song to come to fruition. I met Chris like 2021.
Okay.
Damn.
Just like through like being at a show or something?
At a show, yeah. It was at the Winchester. I met him there and then saw him again at the Odeon. And then I think the next year would have been, 2022 that we started working together, or 2021.
Nice.
Yeah. And
And you go in like every week pretty much.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Mm-hmm. I love it. Well, I just want to say about you, like, hearing your music, it's incredible. And for you to only be doing, like, being in the scene for a couple of years is, like, mind-blowing to me right now. But I'm a big fan of music that you can, like, feel, like, you can listen to it and you can tell that that person's, like, actually been through the stuff that they're singing about, rapping about, whatever it is, you know. And you can feel... I guess for better or for worse for me to say, it's like I can feel your pain in like your sad songs, you know? And that's like such a relatable thing, not just for me, but I think just listeners in general, because you don't want to, you know, if you're watching a movie and like something happens and you want to be able to feel that emotion, you know, and if the actor's not doing it right, you're not going to. But it's like the same thing with music, that when I listen to your music, I'm like, damn, like, I want to like beat up whoever did this to her. You know what I mean? Like it's like that good, you know? And that's not an easy thing to do. Especially to just write music like that, but then to also like portray it through your voice and everything, but you do it perfectly. So
thank you. That is such a compliment. Wow. Thank you.
No,
I feel like I got to be like true to like music's such like just a me thing. It's part of myself. It's there. It's not going anywhere. So I always have to be true to it. So I think that's where that comes from. And honestly, I feel sometimes that it's too honest, like too raw sometimes. And I get nervous to put songs out, but it's always those songs that, you know, you have people come up to you and they're like, I love this. Like, I've had people come up to me about like my latest song and they're like, I love this. Like, I cried to this, and I'm just like, damn, like, okay.
Isn't that like such a crazy feeling when people say stuff like that to you? Because it's like, you don't want them to say, you don't want them to cry to your stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But then it also kind of feels good, like in a selfish way, but like it's not even like a selfish way, but it feels good because you know that like you're not alone.
Right.
And that's why they're crying too, because they know they're not alone, you know? That's awesome. Yeah. Music is like, there's no better feeling than to take something that is disastrous and put it in this creative blender and make something great out of it.
Just make it like into art. It's something you can't see it, you can't touch it. You can hear it, you can feel it. Yeah, that is crazy.
It is. I love it.
And you know, like when you listen to a song and you're like, oh my God, like every word, I feel every word of this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I don't know. Sometimes I make songs and I'm just like, this is too harsh. Like, who I'm writing this about, like, this is too mean. This is too harsh. But this is how I feel. And, like, I just want some girl out there to listen to it and be like, oh, I'm not crazy.
Right, yeah.
Like, I'm not crazy. This is actually real. And that did happen to me. Like, that just happened to me with my last song.
Oh, really?
With some, like, total stranger girl. And she DM'd me on Instagram and told me that. And I was like, holy shit.
That just makes it all worth it.
Yeah, I was like, okay, now I like my song. Now I like it. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's the thing that I've just learned over the years is that if you are just 100% true, like, because you said, like, you'd be afraid, am I being too harsh or will people not really relate to me on this? Like, but if you just be yourself, there is at least one person out there that will really relate to it. And to me, that's enough. Like, if I can have one person, like, tell me, I totally get what you were going through. I'm going through the same shit. Then it's like, you know.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
For real.
It is. And it's just crazy how you can take heartbreak or just terrible situations and turn them into stuff like that, you know, like that is. And I enjoy that kind of music better than the happy kind of music, you know, but the happy music is also good too. I started writing happy music recently and I'm like, this is weird. What is this about, you know? But
I vibe with it though. Your stuff does have like more of an upbeat. Some of it's more like kind of upbeat, but it's just like a vibe.
Thank you.
It's a good vibe.
Thank you.
I love it. That's kind of how I feel about this song.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's talk about the song here. So, so I've been, you know, working with Chris. I had a song with Chris that I did before this, and he like gave me his like BeatStar page with all of his instrumentals on it. And I think I was getting ready to go to a band practice or something, and I just had it in my car and just kind of felt like listening to instrumentals and just kind of like singing melodies, trying to figure something out.
Yeah.
And then this beat came on, and I just like listened to it once. And I'm like, this is something about this, you know. It was like different from his other stuff. So I listened to it again, and then I started humming the ooh part, the ooh ooh oh oh oh, and it started getting stuck in my head. So I just was like, oh, okay, this is something here. So I kept going over and over and doing that, and then started piecing together the hook, which started with you know, I can tell that you've been drinking part. And in my head, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna write a song where, you know, my significant other or whoever I'm writing about is drinking, and, you know, I don't want this relationship to work. Like, the relationship's failing, you know. And then as I started thinking about it, I was like, you know what? That's, like, to me, the easy way out. Like, why don't I do something different this time where I, like, turn the cameras back at me and I'm like, all right, I know that, like, nobody's perfect, you know? And I like to think that, like, I try to treat, like, my girlfriend, you know, as best as I can, but nobody's perfect. So I started thinking of things that I do wrong, and then I started thinking of, like, all my guy friends. And I have a lot of female friends, and all the stories that my female friends were telling me and everything. And I'm like, oh, this could be fun to, like, write a song where I'm the piece of shit, you know? And then I was like, oh, this works out really good because it's like, all right. Because I love the hook, so I'm like, she's drinking because I'm being a piece of shit. And I know that I'm doing everything wrong. Like, I know that I can be better than this, but, like, I also know that I'm not going to change. And it's like, I keep saying I'm going to fix myself, but I'm not. And it's like, okay, well, I'll forgive you this time. But it just keeps slowly, the relationship just keeps slowly sinking down. And I was like, oh, man, it's all just, like, came back, you know what I mean? Like, full circle. It was like perfect. So anyway, so I record the song. I had somebody in mind to be on the song because all these songs I've been doing are features. So I like talked to Chris and I told him who I originally wanted on this. And I'm like, what do you think? I don't know if I feel like this anymore after recording it. He's like, yeah, I don't know either. And I'm like, well, do you know anybody, like, besides the people that I have worked with, like, that you think would be good on this? And I'm like, take your time, you know, there's no rush. And he was thinking about it. He's like, actually, I'm, like, working with somebody right now. What would you think about, like, you know, having, like, a female voice on? I was like, oh, that'd be awesome. Because I've never done a song, you know. It's always been, like, rappers and stuff, you know. So he's like, let me play you some of her stuff. And he played me a couple of your things. And like the first like 5 seconds of the one song, I was like, yes, right now. How do I get a hold of her? And I have this big problem where I get something in my head and it's like, I have to do it, you know? So I like set myself up for disaster. So as soon as I heard you, I was like, she's going to be on the song. If she's not on the song, I'm like, what am I going to do now? You know, like I'm already doing this.
Yeah.
And it's already only been like 6 seconds since he's played me your stuff. So he sends me your thing. I think I messaged you while I was in the studio. I was like, hey, I got this song, you know, I'm like, I'll send it over to you. And I think he was already sending it over to you. But fortunately, you were on board. You were like, yeah. So
it took me a minute, honestly. Like, I don't even know why it took me so long. But I remember...
Well, you're working on your own stuff, too. So.
I was, and I think I was just like... I wanted to do it. I was like, oh my God, what a cool opportunity. And it's one of those things where you look at your phone and then you go about your day and it just poof.
Right, yep.
But then he had texted me, reminded me about it. And I was like, oh, yeah, shit, let me listen to this beat. And I listened. I was already on board before I even listened to the song because I knew that I had to start collabing. Like, I literally... I haven't really featured with a lot of artists, and I'm very picky too.
Same, which is why this year I'm like dedicating to doing features because I never do.
Yeah, that's like so vital though. But yeah, I listened to the beat, to the track, to the song, and I remember like it's crazy to hear how you wrote it because when I heard it, I was like, oh my God. I am the girl in this relationship. Like, this is perfect. Like, I freaking love this. I love the song, like, the actual vibe of it to begin with. But I was like, I can definitely write to this because it was so weird. Like, some of the things that you were saying, I was like, did you go and talk to my ex? Like, literally. So, it was perfect, easy to write to. And I loved the whole concept of the quicksand. And I mean, just literally what you say in the hook is so like poetic. Oh my God, I love that.
Thank you.
I loved that. It does. The song kind of like, it is like a carousel, like in itself, basically. So I kind of tried my best to write as a girl would, but I kind of do that thing where it's like I really do just like raw emotions just come out and I just write from like experience. So that was like very real to like the girlfriend in that kind of relationship.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, when I listened to it for the first time, so like, you know, I think I got in my car after work and I got an email and I was like, oh my God, it's here. You know? So I pressed play on it or whatever, and as soon as your verse was over, there was like 2 things crossed my mind. The first one, I actually wrote this to Chris. I said, okay, can this just be her song? Because I don't even want to listen to myself after her anymore. Like, I was like, once my stuff came in, I was like, can we go back and listen to her again? And because it was just so good. And then the other thing, too, was I got mad at myself. Like, you were actually talking about me. Like, I was like, whoever hurt her, you know? Like, I was like, because it goes back to what I said at the beginning. Like, you're so good at painting a picture of, you know, what you're writing about. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it just... Like you said, you felt like my verse was speaking to you. It just kind of feels exactly like we are kind of writing about each other in this storyline, you know?
Yeah.
It flowed so good. It's great.
Yeah. I think we just both understood the assignment.
Yeah, for sure. And like, it's a sad thing that we've gone through situations like that or whatever, you know what I mean? Or, you know, but
it's fun to write about though.
Yeah.
Like
it's for sure.
Hella fun to write about. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I do love that about the song. Like, it's more upbeat about it.
Right.
Because that kind of relationship is not fun. It's not good. Horrible. But I think portraying it in that way is like the best way to describe it, really. Because when you're in it, it's kind of what it feels like. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of like even just the ooze, like in the hook. Love that. That's like my favorite part. You keep listening for that too, and they sound so good. But yeah, that adds to it so much, just to like make it. I love when people take something and they make it kind of upbeat, but they're really talking about like something not upbeat.
So are you a Paramore fan?
Yeah.
So their After Laughter album was like very 80s upbeat vibe or whatever. And that album actually inspired my For Me album in a way, even though nothing like it sounds like that.
Yeah.
But I am like obsessed with what you just said, where it's like, take this really sad song and like mask it under this really happy beat, you know? It just like something about it, because it shouldn't work. And the fact that it works makes it more attractive to me, because it shouldn't, you know?
I don't even know, like, what is the science behind that?
I don't know. That's
like,
a good question.
Like, seriously.
But you're right. It's just, it's just kind of like, I don't know. I shouldn't be celebrating how miserable I am in this, or like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. But that's great. But I didn't even think about that, because that Paramore album, like I said, did inspire me, but I didn't even think about that for this song. And that's probably why I love it so much.
Yeah, it is a little bit like that. I shared it with I played it for my friend, and she loves your voice in it. She was like, what's his name? What's his artist name? Like, I want to listen to him. He's somebody that I would listen to. She's so excited for this song.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Even she said, she was like, did you guys write that together? Did you write that about like your relationship? I said, no, dude. No. This
just all came together.
This just came to me. Like, crazy.
Well, hopefully people will be hitting us up about this song. Like, I relate to this too. You know what I mean?
People will definitely relate to this.
It will definitely be fun. Well, if you're listening to this now, it's already out. So hopefully you like it.
Yeah. You better like it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, you did a great job, and Chris did a really good job too, obviously. He's just so talented.
Oh yeah, the best.
He when we were recording the hook or whatever, and I started doing the ooze, he was like, this sounds like an 80s song, you know? And then the more I kept thinking about it, I'm like, oh my God, this really does. So I'm curious if people listen to the song and get that same kind of vibe, because it does have like this like Toto 80s feel to it. But
I don't know. I didn't really feel. I honestly, like, it's so funny. Like, when I listened to it, I was like, this just puts me in a good mood.
It's so poppy, you know,
Yeah,
but it's like great.
It is. It's kind of popish. And I honestly tried to sing. I wanted to kind of just sing more, like do more of just like a singing part. But I don't even know. Like, I feel like I kind of started like rapping it a little bit, which I never really tried to do.
But that's so funny, because Chris told me that too when he first played me your music, and it was like, she sings, but she can kind of like do it like kind of fast where it sounds like she's rapping. So you must have had something else that you had that with for him to say that, or he's just a genius and just knew, you know?
I don't know why I do that. And I've done that since I started out, like just for fun. That's kind of just how I started out. Like literally just went to this guy's attic that I met through like mutuals, and he made this beat, and it was very clearly like a rap beat, very clearly. And I was like, oh no, I like this. No idea what I was going to write on it, but I was like, oh, I'm a singer. And then I tried to like rap, and then it was like this singing like rap thing, and I've just always kind of done that.
It works great, because I started out rapping and then kind of started going into the singing from that, you know? It was like the whole reverse way of like, yeah, like I'm going to rap, but let me sing some parts. Then people just started going, you should do more of that, you know?
You have a really good voice.
Thank you.
Like, really good.
No.
No, I really like your vocals.
Thank you.
Seriously.
But me and Quasi were just talking about this, because it's the same thing with him now, where he's like, yeah, I would just like sing on certain things, and people would be like, do more of that, you know? And I'm like, you know, just do it. I always just believe in do what you feel that works, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you felt like I'm going to sing and do this little rappy thing on this and it works, and that's how it is, you know? I mean, it was great. Your cadence on Quicksand, it was perfect, because I was wondering, you know, how you were going to approach it. Because I was trying to think, how would I approach this if I was singing on the verses and everything? And you did something completely not what I would have done, like so much better. I'm like, man, this is so great. And it's going to be so catchy. And
it is very catchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's one of those songs. I played it for my mom and she was like, you know, I listened to it like 2 times and I already know the chorus. I was like, okay.
I love it. Shout out to Mom.
Yeah, that's if Mom likes it, it's gonna be good.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
I meant to ask you this in the beginning. Like, who do you like your influences? Like, what made you want to start singing?
Probably like my grandma. Like, I don't know. We had a piano in my grandma's house growing up, and there's literally like a picture of me. Like when I could reach it, I started playing piano, and my mom's mom was a singer, like really good singer. She recorded an album of just like church hymns. Her voice is like incredible. She like sounds like Celine Dion. I'm not even kidding.
Damn.
Just I don't sound anything like her. I never met her. She died, but yeah, I think that's where it comes from because no one else in my family sings.
That's a beautiful thing that like you can listen to somebody that you've like never met that's like related to you and be like, this is my mom's mom, and see kind of like you're on the same journey that she was on at one point.
Yeah,
you know, that's so cool.
I think about it all the time. Her CD's always in my car.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I always just listen to it. And I mean, it's like I have a very low range, but I feel like the older I get, it's weird. Like I'll try and hit high notes and I can hear her voice in me, but it's like I don't have those abilities yet. Like I still have to work at it. But I believe like if you really keep working and you keep hitting notes and working your voice, like you can get to that point.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
It's hard and it takes time, but we're trying. We're getting there.
That's what it was with this, with Quicksand. I had to come back and record my vocals for the hook because I felt like I was pushing myself to be higher than I should have been, you know? Because I've kind of like a lower, raspier voice. And I was explaining to Chris, like, I'm like a teeter-totter. Like, I can push myself right to the edge, you know what I mean? Where I probably shouldn't be. And I felt like that's kind of how I was at the beginning. But when I re-recorded it, I was like, all right, this is better. But, yeah, one day I'll get to the range that I always start writing for. And then when I go to record, I realize, nope.
Yeah. Oh, I feel ya.
That's the worst when you
hear
write
it.
something. Yeah, I'm like, it sounds so good in the car when I'm like singing this with my volume all the way up. But when I stand in the booth with the headphones on, I'm like, can we do this again? Let me get some more water, you know?
I do that. Like, I feel like with everything though.
It's frustrating sometimes.
It's like weird when you hear yourself on a mic and you're like, oh, hell no.
Yep.
Like, what was that?
I know.
It's weird. It sounds good while you're doing it, but then when you hear it back recorded, I don't know. I think that's just an artist thing, though. Too.
It must be.
Yeah.
It must be. Because there's people that are like, you know, newscasters and shit, and they don't want to see themselves at all.
Their
you know, like, oh no, like turn this off. You know,
it is. It definitely is.
But yeah, I love it though. My Brad, who mixes all my stuff, he lives in California now. You know, I would record something with him, and I'm like, I don't know about this, man. He's like, just wait till I mix it, you know, and he'd send me back the mix, and I'm like, who is this? You know, he's like, that's you, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah. Well, anyways, thank you.
Yeah.
That was, you know, pretty
Absolutely.
simple, pretty quick.
Yeah.
I appreciate you joining me and everything.
Yeah. Hell
Do you want to, like, shout out your socials or anything, like, where people can, like, find your music?
Pretty much everything is on my Instagram. In my link tree in my bio, my Instagram is Lil Bird Music, just Lil Bird.
Simple.
Yeah. I used to be under Sarah Gloriana. I still have music under her. She's on Spotify. She's pretty much linked with everything. When you listen to Lil Bird, she's under there too. I forgot all my login info for that bitch.
I was gonna ask you about that because I
That's what
saw you.
I don't even care. I think it's so funny.
That is actually really funny.
It is the most me thing to ever happen. But you know what? My actual nickname my entire life is Lil Bird.
so perfect.
Like, my dad doesn't even call me Sarah. My name is Lil Bird, so it was kind of meant to be.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. Yeah, I was gonna ask you because I saw you post, the Sarah song, and I clicked on it or whatever.
Sharing
and I'm
like 2 different artists.
I know. I'm like, hold up, but yeah,
that's
funny.
I don't know. Maybe I feel like one day, if like I get to perform for like a little bigger of an audience, like just throw in a Sarah Gloriana song, and whoever knows it, I know you're a real one.
That's right.
That'll be, it's a trick.
If you go to the show and if you're watching this podcast right now and she starts performing a Sarah song, you just got to go like this.
Yep.
And she'll know.
Yeah. And you're in.
And you're in. We can't tell you what you'll get.
It's a secret club.
Yes. So, but
it's a secret, but y'all know about it now. So.
Yep. Yeah. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah. You're special if you're listening to this. I'm never talking about it ever again. I don't know who that is. Right.
Yep. Exactly.
What were we talking about?
I don't know.
No clue. No.
But all right. Well, thank you again for joining us. And she gave you the socials. You said at Lil Bird, right? Just LILBIRD.
Yeah. Lil Bird Music.
Lil Bird Music. Sorry. I forgot the music at the end. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening to the featured presentation podcast. And we'll see you next time.